Hello, everyone, and welcome to my Bachelor Nation official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. When Dina Lupanco walked out of the limo and into the world of The Bachelor Season 29, no one knew what to expect. She wasn't the bubbly, instantly memorable contestant like some of the others. Nor was she one of the outlandish, attention-grabbing figures. Dina, 31, a sharp, composed lawyer from Chicago, immediately stood out for her intelligence and no-nonsense attitude. Grant Ellis, the 31-year-old bachelor of Season 29, seemed to notice it too. From their very first interaction, it was clear that there was something different about their connection. But Dina's journey on The Bachelor didn't last as long as anyone expected. Despite the early connection, she was eliminated after her hometown date, a decision that shocked both the contestants and viewers. For a woman who had everything, intellect, beauty, poise, it felt like a missed opportunity for Grant. But Dina wasn't the type to be defeated by disappointment. Everyone expected Dina to disappear quietly from the spotlight. After all, that was the usual pattern for eliminated contestants. A brief moment of fame followed by silence as they returned to their normal lives. But Dina, it seems, was destined for something more. She didn't just fade away. She didn't lie low. She kept herself in the public eye, and more importantly, she continued to make her voice heard. Dina wasn't going to let herself be forgotten. And as the months passed, she made it clear that The Bachelor hadn't been the defining chapter of her life. Instead, it had been the beginning of something much bigger. Something that was still evolving. When Grant Ellis made the controversial decision to eliminate Litia Garr during the season finale, the Bachelor universe was thrown into chaos. Viewers were shocked by the decision, but Litia's response was even more dramatic. On the final rose ceremony night, Litia, in front of the cameras, and the host Jesse Palmer, shared her truth. She accused Grant of misleading her and leading her to believe that he wanted to choose her from the start. Grant and I had talked a lot about that day. Litia told Jesse, the camera catching every bit of the emotion in her voice. And everything that he had ever said about it was that it was going to be us. He said he wanted to end the season early because he knew it was me. Grant, unsurprisingly, denied these claims. He firmly stated that Litia had misunderstood his intentions and that their connection was not as strong as she had believed. He claims that his decision to eliminate her had nothing to do with deceit and everything to do with where his heart had led him. The Bachelor Nation was left in a frenzy, torn between the two versions of the story. But then came Dina. The woman who had already made waves by not disappearing after her elimination now made an even bigger statement. She sided with Litia. Dina's Instagram had always been relatively low-key during her time on the show. But after the drama surrounding Grant and Litia's fallout, Dina broke her silence. One single post, a picture of herself and Litia together, set the Bachelor world on fire. Litia, a woman after my own heart, Dina's post read, "To know you is to love you. Forever grateful this experience brought me one of my most treasured friendships." The words were simple, but they were loaded with meaning. With those few lines, Dina made it clear she stood by Litia in the conflict with Grant. And that made her position in the Bachelor world more important than ever. No longer just an eliminated contestant, Dina was now a player in the ongoing drama surrounding the show. Fans of both Litia and Dina rallied behind the two women, celebrating the bond they had formed. Dina's post quickly went viral, with people praising her for her loyalty and for taking a stand. For once, she was no longer a side character in someone else's narrative. She was the lead of her own story. With her newfound platform, Dina began to shift the narrative around her. She wasn't just a lawyer from Chicago who had briefly dated Grant Ellis. She was a strong, independent woman who wasn't afraid to speak her truth and form genuine relationships on her own terms. She didn't need the Bachelor franchise to define her. Dina began to make appearances on talk shows and podcasts, giving her side of the story about her time on The Bachelor and her relationship with the other women in the competition. Her insights into the behind-the-scenes dynamics of the show were a revelation to fans. They hadn't seen this side of her during her time on the show. While Grant had been portrayed as the charming, noble bachelor, Dina didn't hesitate to point out the flaws in his Dina admitted on one podcast, "But I think he was more interested in playing the part of the bachelor than actually being vulnerable with the women he was dating. He wanted to be the hero, but sometimes being a hero means being honest, even when it's uncomfortable." Her words resonated with fans who had long criticized Grant's treatment of the women in the show, and suddenly Dina was seen as the voice of reason, a counterbalance to the glossy, carefully curated image of the Bachelor franchise. Her posts about friendship, self-worth, and honesty earned her thousands of new followers, many of whom hadn't thought much about her during her time on the show. Now, they couldn't get enough of her. As the summer approached, the buzz around Dina's post began to intensify. Rumors started circulating that she might make a return to the franchise, not as one of the contestants, but as a fan favorite on Bachelor in Paradise Season 10. Bachelor in Paradise was known for bringing back contestants who had made an impact on the main franchise, and Dina seemed like the perfect candidate. Her storyline on The Bachelor had been cut short, but she had left an impression, and with her new fan base and strong connections with Litia, it seemed inevitable that she would be invited to the beach. While Dina hadn't confirmed anything, the hints were everywhere. She posted a cryptic Instagram story with a picture of a tropical sunset and the caption, "Ready for a new adventure." Was this the subtle hint that she'd be headed to Bachelor in Paradise? Fans immediately took to social media to speculate, with many hoping that she would return to give the show a dose of reality and authenticity that it so often lacked. Dina, meanwhile, had continued to live her life on her own terms. She spent time with friends, advocated for causes she cared about, and focused on her legal career. She wasn't desperate for fame or validation. She had nothing to prove. But that didn't mean she didn't see the opportunity Bachelor in Paradise presented. It wasn't just about finding love. It was about being true to herself, maintaining her integrity, and continuing the story she had started on her own. Whether or not Dina returned to the beach, one thing was clear. She had found her voice, and she wasn't going to let anyone silence it. The Bachelor franchise had given her the platform, but it was her authenticity and determination that had kept her relevant. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, do not forget to subscribe to my channel and do not miss any updates.